Hello everybody, I'm Chad at Red Tone Studio. If you've been following along, this is the third installment of my Telecaster build video series. In the last video series, I planed this blank down to acceptable size, just over 1 3/4 inch. And in this video, we're going to talk about cutting out the basic Tele shape. So I've already picked the front and the sides, or front and the back, which you can go have a look in the last video. So now I'm going to use the template that is behind me, and we're going to mark it out, and then we'll cut it out with my bandsaw. So we'll lay that on here, and you can see it just fits. I do have a big hole here in the side. You can see that maybe from the top down view, but I'm trying to miss that, so I've got to move it down ever so slightly. We're going into these wings just a little bit, but I'm leaving myself some space. I also want to stay away from the very small edge, or for the very end, because this end has a few cracks in it that I'm trying to stay away from. So all in all, I think this is a pretty good spot here. So we'll mark this off, and then we'll go cut it out with a bandsaw. If you have a jigsaw, that would work as well. I've got, I think, a 14-inch bandsaw. You can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. You see it's a Grizzly bandsaw. My blade is definitely not as sharp as it could be, but I'm going to try to cut as close to the line as possible. And then we'll use my router, which I've got a 2-inch router bit that will cut this with the template all at one time. So it should leave a pretty clean edge. And then we'll take it up to the sander to take out any tear out or anything that we get doing that. But that you'll have to see that when we jump out to the shop and start that process. So I'm just gonna trace it out here, and then we'll go out to the bandsaw and we'll cut it out. All right, we're back again. As you saw, that went pretty well, pretty easy. I cut it out with my large bandsaw. Didn't have too much trouble there. Could use a new blade, absolutely, but I got as close to the line as possible. And then I got my router out on my homemade router table. Someday I'll get a real one. And I was able to route all the way around it. Turned out pretty good. There's a little bit of tear out, especially here on the ends. If you can see that, just a little bit, kind of on the end grains is where you got to watch the most for that tear out. It's getting some chunks off this corner here, but that seemed to turn out pretty good. A few issues I have. We got a little nick here where there was a hole that just happened to line up on the line. That may go away. Where I glued the wings on, it's easy to see with these perfectly straight lines on both sides. Not so bad on this side. I was hoping for kind of a translucent finish, but maybe it needs to be a complete opaque. We'll see how it goes. I haven't quite decided on how I'm going to finish it yet. I was thinking maybe a translucent red, but I don't want it to end up pink either, so we'll do some tests. I definitely had some trouble, as you saw, getting the template off. I had to stick my screwdriver in there and really pry it off, but that's no problem. Didn't hurt the template any. The wood is actually softer than the MDF, so it kind of gouged up right here where the neck pocket's going to be, but that's going to be routed out anyways, so that's no big deal. All in all, I think it turned out pretty well. If you think it didn't, leave me a comment down below, And make sure you like and subscribe so you can see the next video. Speaking of that next video, we're going to work on routing out the electronics areas. Probably routing out the neck pocket as well, because that's kind of all at the same time. And then maybe we'll then move on to drilling the holes for the bridge, and maybe the holes for, say, the electronics and the pick guard. We might do that a little bit later on. We also need to drill a hole for the input jack. So we're coming closer, probably about halfway done, and then it's going to take quite some time to get, you know, all the tear out. It's getting it prepped for the finish. So thanks for sticking around. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can see the next video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.